There's a guy by the name of David Musselman. He's a bishop of the Mormon church. He decided he was going to do a little test of his followers. He would dress up as a homeless man and then go into the Mormon church. And he wanted to gauge the compassion of the people in his church. And he went all the way. He really did a good job covering up his identity. He had a makeup artist give him a different look on his face. They gave him facial hair, a wig, and they gave him sunglasses also to conceal like his eye shape, which they might have realized. So these guys were fooled. They really thought this was a homeless man. Quote, "Many actually went out of their way to purposefully ignore me," he said. "And they wouldn't even make eye contact with me. I'd approach them and say, 'Happy Thanksgiving.' I wouldn't ask for food or any kind of money. And their inability to even acknowledge me being there was very surprising." So this is what happened when he took, good, moral, religious people and he did a little test and he said, let's see how they'll respond to somebody who actually might be in need. In fact, it gets even worse. 5 people asked him to leave. 5 good, moral Mormons asked him to leave. Yeah, very moral people we're dealing with here. And he says the only people who were actually kind to him, children. Quote, "But while many adults recoiled from the homeless man's presence, younger church members did not. I was impressed by the children. I could see in their eyes they wanted to do more." This, to me, is incredibly telling. Because what that shows you is the older you get, the more indoctrinated you become, and the more jaded you become by what you see around you. And people, in certain ways, become more selfish, and they become more closed-minded. Whereas a child, there's something about young kids where there's something pure and innocent in their nature. Where if they see somebody struggling, they'll think, that's a human being, they probably shouldn't have to struggle like that, maybe we should help them. It's a very simple, very straightforward deduction, but it's a very smart one, and a very perceptive and intuitive one. And the children are right. And what we should do as adults is fight against the becoming jaded and not treating people as equals and dismissing people who aren't exactly like us. And then when the bishop unveiled himself, I love this, all the adults were shocked and they immediately started making excuses. "Oh yeah, no, I was going to help and I wasn't sure if it was, yeah, I got nothing. I didn't help. I'm an asshole, aren't I?" Yes, you guys are assholes. And another thing to take away from this, it's amazing how many people have the inability to transmit their beliefs into action, right? It's one thing to say, I believe X, Y, and Z, I'm in favor of X, Y, and Z, from an intellectual or philosophical perspective. But when push comes to shove, will you actually act on your beliefs?